What's up, guys? All right, you guys asked me, or you didn't ask me. I asked you what kind of topics should I make videos about? What kind of questions you have, and you answered. So I'm gonna actually read one of these, and I'm gonna try and go through all of these because I appreciate you guys that are actually, supporting the channel. And hey, if you took the time to put a question down, then I'm gonna take the time to give you an answer here. So this one question is from Dark Ravi for Death, and he said, "Your thoughts on the rise in male virginity is it actually bad? I'm 27, so should someone like me be worried about losing it ASAP or keep trying to get out of my parents' basement first?" So okay, so good question here. So there is a rise of male virginity. Okay, there is a rise of the sexless male, and I did a whole video on the other channel where I went into the reasons for this, and I'll give you briefly the reasons for this or why this is happening. All right, and again, it's not the fault of women, it's not the fault of men, it's sort of the fault of social media, and then it's always kind of been this, but it's been magnified by this. So what's happening is this. Okay, you're having dating apps and social media, right? Primarily being the driver of this, dating apps that focus on looks. Now, women are not looks focused. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that women don't like an attractive guy, but that's not the main attraction quality that women look for in men. However, if you give them a dating app that is all visual, and you have that dating app in such a way that men's selection criteria is much lower than women's, what's going to happen, and a lot of more men are on dating apps because men are more desperate, what's going to happen is that you're going to get into a situation where women are going to become even more picky, right? Because when a woman's getting, and believe me, it's so funny, man. I saw my now wife, but at the time girlfriends, Tinder or Bumble when we were first dating, and holy crap. In fact, not only that, I saw just some obscure dating app that she had signed up for a long time ago that was still in her email. And it was like there was a bunch of messages on the account. And actually someone had hacked the account, and they put a picture of this ugly kind of older fat woman on there. And the woman, that profile was getting like 5-10 messages a day, every day from guys. So what I'm saying is that, believe me, a woman that is even moderately attractive is going to get bombarded by messages, by matches, by guys on dating apps. Okay. And so what happens is women are going to pick the top 10%, maybe even 5% of men. It gets pretty bad, right? In terms of looks, because that's what they're going to look at. You think they're reading the bio a little bit, but just to screen you, as a secondary screening, but they're going to just look for the quote chats. Okay. That's right. Again, I hate to use that term, and just like, please don't cuck yourself by using that term. But I'll use it in this case. All right. And so women are looking for these guys. They see these guys, they match on these guys. Okay. Because it's the only ones that, like everyone else and every other guy on this dating app, you're getting no matches. You're getting rejected. You're like, man, am I just a ugly motherfucker? Like, am I going to be a virgin forever? Right. What the heck? This is bull crap, right? Or maybe you get a few matches and it's a scam, some girl trying to get you on her OnlyFans or whatever. You get catfish or some stupid shit like that. Or a girl matches you, but then you can't even get her to go out on a date with you. It's ridiculous, right? I get it. Okay. I understand. Okay. Now, my advice to you guys is, you got to be in the top 10%, right? You got to have better profile pictures. There's some things you can do to change that. Oh, by the way, that's a good time to plug Bulldog Mindset membership, because I've got actually some content in there about that, how to fix this problem for you for good. So check that out. All right. So anyway, so this is what's going on. Okay. And so then what happens is this. So you have all these dejected men. Okay. And then you've got these women that are picking the top 5-10% of guys. And these top 5 to 10% of guys on the dating apps, in terms of looks, they're the king. Okay, let me tell you. All right, I don't care if you believe it or not, but man, when I was up there on the dating apps right before I met my wife, okay, I got to a point. I mean, my pictures were good. Okay, like I had, my physique was dialed in. I had, some good ass pictures on there. Okay, I got to a point where I was getting I just had the availability. It was insane. I mean, I could have had a different girl come over every single night, like attractive women. Okay. And so I know that these guys, and I know what my mindset was at the time. Okay. Again, I'm not saying this to brag. Don't get me wrong here. Like, or don't, look, it's fine. Like, I'm not saying, I'm just trying to help you to understand. Like, because I've been on both sides of it. Okay. I've been the loser guy that can't get any dates. And I've been the guy that had some crazy shit. Okay. So I'm not saying it to brag, but what I'm saying is to give you this mindset. So these guys, and this is the mindset I had at this time, I was like, there is no way, like, if a girl isn't, I'm not going on second dates. I'm not even going on 2 dates, because 1 date, that's it. I'm closing on that date, and that's it. And then I'm done with the girl. I'm not wasting my time. There's so many. In fact, maybe, maybe we need to schedule this date at 6 because I need to do something else at 9. Like, I don't care. I don't want your number. I don't want to deal with you afterwards. Okay. Now, again, when I always had this mindset, it doesn't mean that I treated women badly or anything like that. I mean, I was still the guy that I am in the sense that, like, I made them feel beautiful and all these things, but I didn't care to get into any committed relationships with any women. Now, at the same time, I was, married. So again, if you've seen the videos, I'm not going to go into all the details, but yes, I do have a dark history. Okay. And I did some wrong things for some time, and there's some reasons for it. And I have a whole video on the other channel that talks about the entire thing. Okay. So yeah, I'm very transparent about this. Okay. So I'm not hiding anything from you. And which should also tell you, like, dude, if a guy is willing to talk about cheating on his ex-wife for the fucking world to hear, then maybe trust what he's saying. Like, okay, maybe I don't really have very much to hide because I'm trying to be authentic and honest with you. So anyway, the problem is these guys, right? The mindset they have, they're not going to commit to a girl. So a lot of women that are below the level, because a guy will have sex with a girl, right? His standards, is going to be fairly high, but some might be low. But my point is that these women can get plenty of guys to sleep with them, but they can't get any guys to commit with them because the guys that they're interested in, the top 5 to 10% of guys in terms of looks, have all these women throwing themselves at them, right? So you've got most of the guys that are getting no women, and you've got these guys that are getting all the women that they greatly outnumber. The women who want them greatly outnumber them. And so they can just run the round robin. They get to sleep with all the women, okay? Again, I know this isn't fair, but this is life, and this is how it is, and this is the problem. Okay, so you have to understand what's going on. Okay, and so what's the result of that? Well, these women, obviously, they are getting very high lay counts, but the guys in general, the normal guys, are getting 0 lay counts because they can't get with any women. However, these Chad guys are getting huge lay counts. Okay. And so women's body counts are going up. Their satisfaction with a particular man is going down, right? This is what's happening. Okay. And so then they get frustrated and they feel like these guys are using them and they can't ever find a guy. And then they complain and whine. And all the nice guys are out there like, what are you talking about? Like, I would commit to you. I would worship the ground that you walk on. I would treat you like a goddess, right? Okay. But women don't actually really want that, right? they want the guy that they can't have, right? In these guys, because they're the only guys that they really see. Now, the problem with this, right, and the reason why this has become so prevalent, and there's more to this, but this is essentially how things are skewing. There's a whole cycle going on here, okay? But the reason why this has happened so much is because of dating apps. It's because things have become online where it is visual. Whereas if you were out and talking to women in person, if you're going out and picking up girls, you don't need to be the most attractive guy because you get to go and talk to the girls. And the girl doesn't have a billion options. She's got the guys that are in that room, and most of the guys are not going to go up and talk to her, but some of them will. And, if you are a good conversationalist and you're charming and you have some game, you're going to be successful, right? And I know this because I was one of those guys too, right? I have a lot of experience. I went and I taught guys how to pick up girls, and I went and I picked up girls, and I was able to do that, right? And help a lot of guys to be able to do that as well, and see guys that were not conventionally attractive become successful, right? And so where I'm getting with all this is that it is tough. It is a tough time for guys today. There is a lot more virgins, okay? There is an epidemic here. And so what I would say about this is that there's two things. Okay. So first of all, don't worry. Don't worry. You're 27 years old. It's fine. Like back in the day, it would be irregular to be 27 and be a virgin, but it's much more common now. Okay. However, so don't, you'll have plenty of time. Okay. But you do need to work on building yourself first because the competition is more fierce. Okay. Back in the day, if you go back, maybe 15, 20 years, you could just be a regular guy and you could get laid in your 20s. It'd be fine. There were plenty of girls. You go in college, go to college, whatever, you go to a party, you go out, you're going to meet women, it's fine. But most women are just looking for guys on dating apps now because they're not going out as much, or they are going out, but guys aren't hitting on them. Guys are afraid to cold approach women in the street and all kinds of stuff, right? Again, it's always been kind of that, but now, women are able to just access Instagram even, right? Guys are just like in their DMs, I'll fly you out. So, and women are like, sure, I'm going to go to Miami. That's fine. Right. Which again, a lot of guys are like, oh, they're hoes and whatever. Look, if some girl was willing to fly you out to Miami and she was like a supermodel, would you be like, oh no, I'm not going to go out to Miami? I mean, you'd probably be a hoe too, right? Again, I'm not saying that it's good for women to do this. Women should have more respect and they have to realize that they are looking for commitment, not just one night stands with guys. And if they want commitment, then they have to actually not give it up so easily. So believe me, I'm on your side. Okay. But where I'm getting at is if you're the virgin right now, big deal, right? Just understand that the game is harder. And so because this game is harder, you're going to have to be better. Okay. So that means that you need to be taking your 20s and not chasing women. Okay. Yeah. You can go out, learn some cold approach, develop your social skills. Don't have any expectations on it. Just get used to talking to women when you see them. Okay. But even if you didn't do that, you could develop those skills later. I would suggest that you do that because there's no cost to this. There's no cost for you seeing a girl in Starbucks and saying, hey, how you doing? That's it, right? There's no cost for you if you're going out somewhere anyway and you see a girl to go and talk to her. There's no cost to that. So you might as well do that because you can develop that skill and hey, you're going to get some success and you'll probably get laid anyway, but I wouldn't worry about that. But what you do need to worry about is developing yourself and building yourself up, okay? Because the competition is fierce. So as a guy in his 20s, you need to be in the gym, okay? You need to be hitting the weights, okay? You need to be getting in shape, all right? Building your physique. You need to be building your money, your finances. You need to be building up a business. All right. If you want some help with that, with building a business, investing in real estate, becoming financially free, hit me up on Instagram. Use just DM me the word YouTube, okay, so that my team knows. And I have a whole program called The Well That Everyone's Dry, where it's a 6-month program where I teach you exactly how to do this, and you get weekly coaching calls with me. There's a lot of stuff that I've got a ton of course content in there with everything I know about business and real estate and stuff like that. It's really, really valuable. Believe me, for the price. So it really is. So if you want to take advantage of that, I would suggest that you do that. But like I said, DM me the word YouTube on Instagram and someone from my team will get in touch with you and we'll see if it's a good fit for you. So anyway, but you need to work on your finances. Okay. You need to build that up. Okay. And then you need to work on your masculinity. All right. This means, I guess I would call this character or emotional development, right? So you need to be able to master your emotions. You need to understand some Stoic philosophy. Okay, I've got a whole Stoic philosophy channel if you want some help on that. And you need to become a kind of guy that can lead, that can be a leader, that can lead women, that is confident in himself, right? And knows how to deal with women. Knows how to not take their shit, knows how to not be disrespected, how to have a backbone, how to set boundaries, right? While still being, a kind and empathetic person, which I'm assuming that you won't have that much of a struggle on that part. So again, a lot of this stuff too is in the Bulldog Mindset membership, which again, I'll put a link down below. There's a link down below there if you're interested in that, because I have a ton of content on all these things: mindset, fitness, women, dating, relationships, even pickup stuff, and some financial stuff in there too. So, So that's what I would say is like, don't worry so much about being the virgin. It's not that big of a deal. Okay. It's going to be a lot more common now. And I do feel for you guys. I mean, there's a lot of guys that are never going to get laid in their life aside from a hooker, prostitute. That sucks. Okay. But there's nothing like I'm not going to change society. You're not going to change society. Women are going to do their OnlyFans. Okay. What are you going to do about that? You're not going to do anything about that. Okay. So stop trying to do something about that. Instead, realize that the bar is higher. So you're just going to have to be better. Right. So do everything that you can do. And I guarantee you, if you work on yourself and you develop yourself as a man, and believe me, I did a TikTok from my Instagram, or from my podcast with my wife, Better Than Perfect, the podcast we started. And that TikTok blew up. It's got 450,000 views on it right now. And it has thousands of comments from women that are like, where can I find a man like this? Man, is this guy married? I love this guy, right? And it's just me talking about protecting and providing for a woman. And you might say, oh, well, these women are all just gold diggers. No, that's not what it's about. It's about being a man. It's about actually being a man today. If you're not a pussy, if you're an actually masculine man today, you will have women throwing themselves at you. I promise you. I promise you. It's not because of how I look, okay? It's because of what I said, all right? And because of what I represent. And if you work on yourself and develop yourself as a man, and then you start going out and you start talking to women and you learn to do cold approach, you will not be a virgin and you will be successful. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. Every single one of you guys that's listening to me. Okay? But it is going to take a lot of work, even with the competition today. But the good thing about the competition today is that most men are fucking weak. They're pathetic and they're not even going to try. And so, even though, yes, there is competition in the looks department, there is competition because of the dating apps and all of these things, women are looking for the unicorn of a guy. Become that guy. If you're a guy that has worked on himself and developed himself and is working on improving himself, and you are halfway good looking because you've worked on that part of yourself, okay, and you know how to talk to women and you know how to treat a woman well and to be a masculine man that is not a pussy, you clean up. I'll see you tomorrow.